Alright guys, we are back with what is the last game to be played today. It is a 4-4 score at the moment. You can see at the top right corner of the map. It's been an awkward day with some severe delays, but that's okay because we've gotten some great StarCraft out of it. We're going to get one last game to boot. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I am Rifkin, and this is Millennium versus Complexity game number 9. Spawning down here in the lower right corner of the map, playing for Millennium. The last hope of his team today, it is Adelscott. And his opponent in the lower left, representing Complexity. I think both of these guys have actually played at least 3 times today. It is TheSTC. And a quick recap. We had games played, won, lost, lives broken, hearts torn, etc. But of course, Adelscott, being the resurrection of Millennium, is fighting against the resurrected player from Complexity, the TheSTC. So this has really gotten to that very desperate situation. Ace Kate. But yeah, so TVP in general, if this was a macro game, honest to God, I'd be like, hey, Adelscott has got a pretty good shot at this against the TheSTC, because, you know, charge lots, storms, +1 armor, wonderful things to have versus a tank player. However, we know Adelscott is the player who, not to call him a cheesy player, because that would actually not be an accurate description of it. He does tend to favor the all-in plays, and what makes Adelscott a standout player above the rest is when his all-ins do enough damage, he's that player that knows when to fall back, to go for like the expansion behind it instead of dedicating your last 400 resources to one last desperate push. Like, he's able to actually make sense of what he tries to do. The one thing I haven't liked is that he's gone for proxy oracles every game that we've seen him today, and none of those oracles have done damage. It's always been the follow-up, the gateway units, the stalkers, the sentries that have done the damage, right? But we'll see if he goes for it again. Third time's the charm, as they say, but both of these players. Quicker Nexus coming out this time. Of course, with only 1 gas, I should have been able to read that if I wasn't busy talking up about previous games. Because, of course, the only other alternatives did 2 and 2. But one thing worth noting, too, last time this man fell, he did not have a Mothership Core. I think this time with the build order he's taken, though, he should actually have a Mothership Core this game, which will be fantastic for him. But both players moving out to scout. Adelscott will luck out and find his opponent first, both going clockwise by the looks of it. Something that tends to happen on this map a lot for whatever unknown Bermuda Triangle-y type reason, but gets in here to the main with this probe. Marine gonna give chase, but the big thing is this probe actually saw this 3. Oh no, he didn't see the 3 barracks. Ooh, talk about that in a sec. Sees no gas though, so he has to know it's 3 barracks because he didn't see a 3rd command center on the way out. But rest in peace, little friend.
First blood.
Yeah, I just, again, for Adelscott to be here in the ace match was not a bad choice per se. He is going to go for oracles, but it won't be proxied. The thing I find so curious, though, is the fact that they didn't resurrect 4GG versus the TheSTC, and I'm wondering if this was the concern of the TVT. Perhaps 4GG has decided he's a little too tired, he's exhausted, would rather rest up for DreamHack. I don't know what the reason is, but one way or another, Adelscott has to make this happen for his team today. Let's not forget, they have to basically get 5-0'd by Invictus Gaming next week to even be out of the Acer Team Story Cup for Season 3. Millennium is in a really good spot. Complexity, however, is fighting for their lives. For context, if you guys weren't paying attention earlier, the bottom 2 teams of the Acer Team Story Cup are not automatically re-invited for Season 3 and have to re-qualify altogether. So that's where Complexity is fighting to stay out of right now, whereas Millennium's just playing to win. Yay, right? Okay, we'll follow this Oracle as it comes out. Will it do enough damage? Will it do any damage is the question. We look at the base of the TheSTC. He's got 5 Marines here. Of course, 5 Marines are actually not enough to take on the Oracle outright. But, yeah, 7 or more certainly will be. 1 SCV going to get into the natural. Adelscott going with a 2nd Oracle as well behind this. Not sure I like this choice, but we'll see if he can make it work. Gets the Oracle over here, and actually with a little bit of miscontrol, will get no damage done. Oh, Adelscott not paying attention for that 1 fraction of a second. Cost him a little bit. Actually, it costs him a lot if he loses on the way out. Oh, the Oracle goes down with no kills, no damage even being dealt. 3rd Oracle will be made to replace this, but that latency. Actually, that is a fair point, guys. He is playing from Europe to North America. That's not the best situation to be in. Now he'll get some kills, ironically enough. He could just fight these Marines straight on. I don't know why he's choosing to avoid that fight, as the Oracles, of course, shred Marines to bits. A fourth Oracle! What is Adelscott doing? So, okay, basically if he's got enough Oracles, I guess you can kind of bulldog the Marines down and take them out, but this is not the ideal situation to be in. This is how Nomi plays versus like Zerg, and we've seen it's kind of coin flippy at best whether it works, but now with so few Marines available, that missile turret completed, these Oracles will be chased off by the turret. One Oracle gonna go down again. Adelscott not able to control whether it's latency or whether it's a misclick one way or another. Not getting the control that he wants. Limited on damage here. Could/should be doing more, but unfortunately just barely evens up the resources lost. How many workers killed so far? 8 workers killed so far. It's not a terrible thing, but of course Terran players do have mules to help make this up. I love that noise the Oracles make. As much as I hate these units. As a Terran player, I should say. Not as an observer. As a caster, these actually make the games a little more dynamic when used correctly, but worth noting the STC super bunkered up in front of this. He is expecting that sort of 5 to 7 gate follow-up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and where's 7? Yeah, 7 gates to follow this up, so... Warp Tech was, of course, delayed. Not forgotten about by any means, but just delayed because, of course, you had to put so much gas and minerals into 4 Oracles. Again, 4 Oracles, guys. What the heck? SCV's pre-pulled, though. The STC is not shaken by this. He knows exactly what's going on, and if he can hold this, he'll be in such a good spot. Adelscott has to break these bunkers, though. With the force fields, he can certainly do it, and with the Oracles, he certainly got the damage to shred the workers or the Marines. But unfortunately, taking out these bunkers, no easy task. Let's not forget, though, guys, Oracles still do 15 damage every 0.86 seconds. These are basically like 5 how much damage these do? 7? This is like 3 compacted Marines at once per shot. I mean, it's a lot of DPS to add to this. But the Guardian Shield goes down. The engagement comes in, and the Oracles focus down the bunker. But the SCVs are just a little too much. Now losing all of the Oracles. The force field so late. Adelscott. What just happened, man? With the force field so late, there's no way he busts down the bunker. Now continuing to advance with this. I don't know if this is a situation where he can really afford to fall back, though. He's invested so much into this, and this army is non-existent. Medevacs were not picked off. One single drop could end the game. Adelscott is going to try and back up with a stalker. Some force fields may go down, but even a Marine coming from the rear to catch his units off guard. With the pylon going down, Adelscott will be in full retreat. No Mothership Core again, guys. I really want to emphasize this. No Mothership Core, which meant no time warps on the front lines, no recall available for his troops, and most importantly of all, no photon overcharge available for the Nexus. There's almost certainly no way he holds off this push. It's going to take a miracle. I say good luck to him. Here comes the STC. It's not a lot of Marines. It's not a lot of Marauders, but it's a lot of Medevacs. That's what makes this so scary. Zealots here, actually good force fields there initially. We'll catch a couple of the Marines, but so many Zealots going down without any repercussions to this Terran army so far. And the STC is just macroing behind this. Last force field goes down. No Guardian Shields available. Gonna try and kite this around. Dodges left and right. Losing almost no units so far. 4 and 20. And I don't think this one Marauder actually might not even go down by the end of it. Probes being pulled. The sign of desperation. Trying to focus down the Medevacs. The wrong choice for this particular instance. Any other part of the game, that's the right choice. But one way or another, these Medevacs are out of energy, so it did not really need to be focused down. Good game is going to be called, though. Millenium will go down to Complexity, who wins 5-4, despite that incredibly painful handicap. Oh, deep apologies to Millenium, who, again, they came in today's series with so much riding on the line. They needed to win 5-1 or 5-0, end up going down 5-4. At the end of the day, we had 57% of you, though, still rooting for Millenium, so we know where your heart's laid. Oh, no, wrong heart. There we go. Human heart. Favor Millenium. But Complexity ended up taking it in the end. So good games well played by all. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. This was fantastic. I'm going to run a set of ads due to time out the delay. Then once the ads are done, I'm going to do subscriber shoutouts, and then the broadcast will be over. So feel free to take off now. If you want to watch one last set of ads to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. But more importantly than that, hit the follow button, guys. Check me out on Twitter. You can check Penguin out. Of course, his Twitter's still displayed over there. It's at MYI Penguin if you enjoyed his casting. If you enjoyed my casting, please come back. We will not be doing any more broadcasting until DreamHack, folks. DreamHack Winter, Base Rate TV will be casting. And I can actually give you a quick little... we showed it off on the weekend. I won't show you any right now. But yes, DreamHack will be coming up this weekend. It should be some pretty good friggin' times. And I hope I see a lot of you tune in for it. But ads... subscriber shoutouts, then we're off. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.